welcome to Backstage with Bobby with Beautycast Network. Today we are so excited to have Jerilynn Stephens with us on our show. We're obviously not in person. We are doing a Zoom call today, but Jerilynn, thank you so much for being here with us. We're so excited.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I can't wait till we can do this in person. Really excited to talk to you. We've already had a little bit of time together, so I'm just really pumped to share everything that we've been talking about. So you are obviously, there are so many things. I was writing down the list of things that you do. There are so many, but you are a celebrity hairstylist. You are an author. You also are a 7-time Emmy nominated.
Actually, I just got my 8th nomination.
8th, congratulations! Yeah. That's awesome. So, you have so much that you've done and so much that we want to talk about. I want to start by kind of how you came into the beauty industry. So, let's talk about, I know it was a little while ago, so let's talk about where you were when you decided to go to beauty school.
Okay, so I was living in Seattle. I had moved from Michigan to Seattle when I was 21, and I really had no ambition or dream to ever do hair. I was kind of a lost child, didn't really know what I had no idea, you guys, what I wanted to do with my life. So I started bartending and doing the 90s Seattle. I know you guys are all really young, but the 90s in Seattle, grunge, Nirvana, Soundgarden, all that stuff was super fun. Yes. So when I was 25, I started thinking, do I want to be doing this when I'm 30? And it was no, I don't. And so all of a sudden, my girlfriend was going to esthetician school. And she's like, you should go to beauty school, hair school. And I was like, okay. So I was in Seattle and I went to a school called Greenwood Academy of Hair. And it was an Aveda concept. And I don't think it's there anymore. I think it closed a few years ago. But I got my license. But while I was in school, you guys, I actually discovered my purpose. And I was like, wow, I love to make people feel and look good. And then while I was in beauty school, same friend started dating a guy in the film industry. He was a grip. And we got to visit an LA film set in Seattle. And so at that moment, when I walked onto the set, I was like, oh my God, I have to do this. So that became my dream. So in beauty school, you guys, I found my purpose and I found my dream. So that was it.
That's so incredible. And so you've just been doing this ever since. I mean, you've been doing this, you said, like 25 years now that you've been in the industry, and you've never worked behind the chair, or did you ever work in a salon?
Yeah, of course. I mean, because if I wanted to be the top in because my dream was way out here. It almost seemed unattainable at the time because I knew I'd have to move to Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. So in that time, after graduating beauty school, I did an apprenticeship for a year and a half underneath a mentor that I loved. And then at that point, after that year and a half, I actually went and rented a chair and started building my clientele. And I also was still bartending, you guys. I was doing it 3 days a week through school. And then once my clientele started building and I was getting that extra income in, I then cut down to 2 days a week and then 1 day a week. And then before my 30th birthday, you guys, it was 2 months before my 30th birthday, I quit bartending altogether because I knew if I closed that door, then it was going to bring in more clients. I just trusted that. And that's exactly what happened. So during this time, I also went to film school for makeup. And I knew that being a double hitter, as I call it, hair and makeup artist, I think is really, really, really important. Cannot express it enough if you want to be a freelance artist, because people want to hire somebody who can do both.
Right.
So I started building my portfolio, which back then was a book, yeah. Right? And but now, you guys, I think your Instagrams and websites and social media is your portfolio.
Right.
So be careful. That's my tip. Be careful what you post. Make sure, because I honestly, you guys, I will check out people's Instagrams and social medias, check them out as a person to see if it's someone that I actually want to bring onto my team.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. I think that's a really good piece of advice that you have to watch what you're putting out there. I think that sometimes people think, or sometimes the mentality is, oh, once I get out of beauty school, then, then I'll show up everywhere on time and I'll always be put together. And you always think, but I think that the important thing is to do it while you're in beauty school. Build that habit, early on so that it's an easy thing to just carry into your career.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, start now.
Yes.
If you envision, say you don't even want to do what I'm doing, which is, by the way, I did move to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you know that I highly recommend, and I'm not sure what you think, Bobby, but I highly recommend working underneath someone in an apprenticeship of some sort, advanced training, or a salon that has advanced education, because beauty school's great and it gets us our license, but the education really starts when you're actually in the workforce and getting that experience and dealing with different clients and things like that. It's like, work in a salon underneath, get more education.
Yes.
This is my recommendation, do not go and rent a salon suite and work by yourself, because you have to be collaborating and educating yourself among people. That's my personal opinion. And Bobby,
I agree 100%. Yes, 100%. I think it's so important to make sure that you even want to do that, like whether being on your own. It sounds great. I think that the appeal is for a lot of people, my own schedule. I can kind of, do my own thing, come and go. That's a hard thing to do. You have to be a certain type of person to be able to manage that schedule. Some people need to be told you need to be here at this time, and you have to kind of be honest with yourself to set yourself up for success. But I agree. We always say, go work under somebody, do the apprentice program, because there's still so much to learn. And like you said, beauty school is great to get you real life experience, but it's still real life experience at a beauty school. So I think in the salons with your high-end clients and all of that, like you have to learn how to deal with people, how to deal with other stylists. I think that's really important. Communication in a salon is everything. So yes, we are 100% big believers in not going out on your own right away. We kind of say, like, make your mistakes on someone else's dime. Don't just jump out and put yourself in a position where you all of a sudden are so responsible for everything that's happening. Take the time to learn, because if you think of this as a 4-year degree instead of just 1 year of beauty school, I just think that you're just a little more realistic. And I do think our students that have kind of followed that are a lot more successful than some of the students that have gone out just on their own.
Well, I'm a true believer in team. I mean, on The Voice, I'm the department head and I have a team of people, sometimes up to 14 people. And it's like the collaboration you can get with a team. And if you're working together, so many people in the beauty industry make it about me, right? Mm-hmm. It's all, I'm the star. And it's like, if you can actually share information with one another, you all elevate.
Absolutely.
And that's what's so important about the team aspect of working in a salon among people who are going to elevate you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested to ask you, I obviously know your highlights of your career kind of just from like stalking you a little bit online, but what would you say that your highlights are, kind of looking back? What are your highlights, or if somebody that's in beauty school, what would you tell them has kind of been your highs of your career so far?
Oh my God. There's so many. I mean, honestly, it's like the first time that I realized I could actually get an award for what I do was like this big aha. Like, how did I not know this? Like, I guess my mind wasn't thinking of that, right? But when we started The Voice, I started season 1. We're actually on season 19.
Wow. And you've been doing this the whole time?
Yes,
oh my goodness.
I have. But here's the deal, you guys, too. It's like I started out just as a hairstylist. I call myself the Hollywood Hairstylist on Instagram and Facebook because it's like that was my dream, to be a Hollywood hairstylist. My mantra was, I am a Hollywood hairstylist, way before I even was, right? So I say that and I just like still get warm and fuzzy about it because that was the dream. And so when I started on The Voice, it wasn't my first job yet, you guys. It was probably when did I start that? 2011, and I got into the business in Hollywood 2004. Okay. Or three. No, it was 2003. And so like, but The Voice, I started out as a Hollywood hairstylist, and then by season 3, I became the key. The key hairstylist is the second in charge to the department head. So like, I was the right hand, like vice president, right? But we're called key hairstylists or co-department head assistants or something. But then season 9, my department head left, and then I became department head. So it was like this gradual, elevation in my career. And then once I started department heading The Voice, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, she's a department head. Let me recommend her. Now that's all I do is I pretty much just department head shows now. And I have my team that I'll take with me. And, sometimes I have 2 or 3 shows going on at once, which is super stressful. But if you've got a good team around you, you can do it.
Yeah. So you've been on, right now you're recording Shark Tank.
I am. I'm in a hotel in Vegas.
Yeah, so you are quarantined for the next 2 weeks. This is the glamorous life of being a celebrity hairstylist.
I don't get to leave my room right now because they're waiting for my test result to come back negative, right? So I tested yesterday. I have room service. And Amazing. As soon as that test result comes back, which I predict will be tomorrow morning, then I get to roam the production bubble, which is basically a convention room.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's so exciting. It's kind of a new fun way. I mean, I think that we all are kind of developing these stories that we'll talk about, someday of, in quarantine and how we got through it. And even picking up to hear where you were today it's just really cool to see how people are adapting to it. This is obviously not what we expected, but you have to be able to roll with it. I mean, you in this position, you obviously couldn't just be like, no, can't do that. You have to roll with it. So I think it's really exciting. And, it's going to be an adventure, and it'll be a fun story to tell someday.
And by the way, I am grateful every single day for what I do. It's like I'm driving to work maybe sometimes at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm like, yes, girl. I'm driving to Vegas from LA yesterday. I'm like, yes, girl. This is her life. Yeah. Right?
I love that. And I think that it's that positive attitude that keeps all of these things coming your way. So let's get into that. So you have written a book called The 5 F Words to Manifesting Your Life. And I love the title. I love everything about this. So please tell us everything about this book. We just cannot wait to hear.
Well, I have to tell you guys, in 2003, I got sober, and I had a rough time, you guys, like through my 20s, Seattle and all that, and then coming into LA and stuff. And when I got sober, and you can clear your mind, right? Now I've all of a sudden like broke out of this fog, right? And I then had like someone was like, oh, you should read Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. And I was like, okay. But then another person said it that week. Then a third person said it that week. And I was like, oh, that's the third time that I've heard this. And they're like, you're supposed to read it then. That's the universe telling you, read this book. So I'm telling you, read this book. It will change your life, because that was my first introduction into law of attraction. Okay. And I literally, The Secret came out. The Secret, it's on Netflix, I believe now. But it came out the year after, 2004. I was like, why are we not talking about this? This is like, it blew my mind. The thoughts, your minds, your thoughts change your life. I promise you. If you are thinking negative, you are going to have more negative stuff. If you are thinking positive and in gratitude and love, I promise you your life will change. So in the book, I had a friend. She said to me, and this is 2018, I decided, universe, I want to be your vessel. I want to help other people. Students, you guys are my passion. Okay, because I was a student in cosmetology school 25 years ago when I decided to change my life. I found my purpose and I found my dream. Okay, you guys can too if you don't already know it. If you don't know it already, you will figure it out because I'm talking to you right now. Okay, and so one of my girlfriends was like, "What do you do? Everything you say comes true," which is not true, but I get what I need. Okay. But I was like, well, you got to figure out what you want and you have to focus and then you have to take action and then you have to feel it already existing. Right. And then you have to faith in the universe, faith in yourself, believe it will happen and forget about how it will happen. That's wasted energy. Do not figure out how it will happen. Just know it will. And she was like, she's a songwriter from The Voice. And I was telling her, so she asked and I told her and she goes, well, you got to put an F in front of action and you've got the 5 F words. And I was like, what? How did you see that? And she's like, and I go, well, it's of course fearless because fear stops us. Fear says, I'm not good enough. You can't do this. You know, I mean, how many times did I think, oh my God, I'm in Seattle and I have to move to LA and I'm going to get into the film business. And oh my God. And my mom, of all people, you guys, was like, I think you just need to come home, come back to Michigan, work in a salon here. Cause that just seemed crazy to her.
Yeah.
Right. But I did not listen. I did not listen to her. Okay. So I pushed and punched through fear and I said, here I am. Anyway, that's how the 5 F words came up in a very long version.
So can we go through the 5 and give like a little, just like some tips? Now, obviously, we all want to read the book and get the book. Mine is on its way. I think it's out for delivery today. I know I told you last night I ordered it. I think it's actually out for delivery today. So I'm really excited to read it. But just give us a quick rundown for somebody that is kind of interested in this, interested in making some changes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, figure out what you want, right? Is the most fun and the most important, okay? And what I love to do is oh my gosh, sometimes I'll just like close my eyes and I'll be like, all right, what is it? I'm gonna fantasize, right? And then I'll start writing, just like bullet points of what I want, right? And then you can kind of look at that and you're like, and some of it scares you and you're like, did I really like write that? But like when you really like focus in on what it is you truly want, like I knew in beauty school, I wanted to work in Hollywood. I wanted to work in film and TV. So I then also, once I started working in Hollywood, and I met 3 women that changed my life. One worked like celebrity red carpet magazine shoots. One did TV commercial and the other did film. Okay. And they told me when I met these 3 women, they said, try all of it and see what you like. Because once you start going down a path, then you'll start rolling. Right. So I worked in all of it and I started thinking, okay, what don't I want? Because I really wanted to get specific. And that will help you guys. If you want to figure out what you want, sometimes writing what you don't want, like I don't want to work in a cubicle, right? I don't want to work by myself. I want to work among people that no drama. Everybody's sharing information. Like really think about what you want and be specific. Okay. So that's like the kind of in a nutshell about figuring out what you want. And then focus. You guys, I cannot tell you enough. Your mind, what you think, will deliver exactly what you want. Okay. If you think, for instance, I was on a Zoom meeting, speaking to a school in Washington State a couple weeks ago. And the girl, Q&A afterwards, she was like, so our town is really small and there's just so many salons, so many hairstylists, I just don't think I'm ever going to make any money. And I looked at her and I go, you are right. And she was like, what? I go, you are what you think. What you think is exactly what's going to happen. How about there's plenty of people for me. There's plenty of money for me. I will attract people who will love and adore me. And I will work among people who will celebrate me. Okay. And really change that mindset. Because here's the thing, and I was telling you yesterday, it's like, there are so many people empowering others like I am. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Okay. You might not be seeing that. All of these students might not be seeing that. And I'm here for you. Okay. And it's like, just because for a moment I thought, oh my God, everybody's doing this. Can I do this? No. Stop. There's plenty of people for me to empower and help change their lives. So that's the focus. What you think about becomes your reality. Mm-hmm. Okay. So remember that. And so that's a little bit of focus in a nutshell. Mm-hmm. And of course, fearless action is where you're telling the universe you are freaking serious about this. Okay. Like you know what you want. You're like, yes, I can do this. And you're right. You know this is happening. But if you don't put action behind it, for instance, telling people what you want, okay, mm-hmm. doing the research, maybe just start working on your mannequin head on your own, right? Practice. Start educating yourself. There's always online classes after beauty school, color classes, and you'll find people that you resonate with that are offering education. Take those classes. Do the fearless action that you need to catapult your career or your personal life and whatever it is that you want. Then feel. This part is super fun, you guys. And that's where I throw in meditation, and I really get into the visualization and feeling I was already a Hollywood hairstylist, right? And the mantras that come in with that. And basically the book is kind of a workbook. You're going to want a highlighter or maybe a different colored pen every time. Read it 3 or 4 times. Okay. I do this with my books that I read, and I'll do Audible and then I buy the book because I'm like, I need to underline and highlight. Yes. And it resonates, it resonates more with you. And you always hear something different because as you're educating yourself, you're elevating. Okay. Now all of a sudden you're like, how did I not see that last time I read it? So it's like that. So feel it already existing and get the butterflies and everything, the happiness, the joy that comes with achieving your dreams, already living it. Okay. And then faith, of course. And I put faith last. Now here's the deal. The only thing you figure out first is figure out what you want. Everything else. And I have a logo it's in a circle, you guys. I wonder if I can find it real quick. I actually have it in the book. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh, here it is. So the logo, right, is a circle. Mm-hmm. Those F words all work circular. So when I was designing the logo, I was like, they all flow. And this is what we came up with, right? So figure out what you want, and then everything else works all at once. So faith, believe in yourself, believe that it's going to happen. And here's the best part that takes away all stress. You don't have to worry about how it's going to happen. Okay. I was like, I'm going to meet somebody who's going to change my life in a salon that I was working at on Sunset. Okay. In Hollywood. Mm-hmm. It was like, a producer's going to come in and it's going to change my life. He's going to, no, I met this woman who changed my life in a spa. Okay. We were in an oxygen jade room, and she was like, normally people don't really talk in spas when you're not, but she's like, oh, what do you do? And I was like, I do hair and makeup, because I'm telling people I do hair and makeup. I do hair and makeup. Was I really doing it? Not really. Had I had a paid job yet? No, everything was free. Okay. But I'm a hair and makeup artist. And she was like, I hire hair and makeup. It was for Getty Images. Okay. Which is the world's largest stock imaging company. Okay. On that job that she was like, bring me your portfolio. I was prepared for the opportunity. I dressed the image that I wanted to portray as a professional hair and makeup artist. Always dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Okay. One of my sharks told me that like 10 years ago. So I have always done that. So I brought her my portfolio and she was like, this is great. This is, exactly what we need. And that's how it happened. She goes, oh, and by the way, that the job is only $500 for the day. Is that okay with you? I was like, yeah, that's great.
You're like, I think I can do that. I really like that, and I think that's an important message, especially because, so many of the people that, I'm around every day at the school or, that are kind of in this industry anyways. I mean, like I said, it is mostly, a younger audience. So in beauty school, having this opportunity to start with that, I think is so valuable. I think the earlier that you can do this, the better. For me, I definitely think that all of this kind of hit me a little bit later, not later in life, but, a little later than 18 years old. And like you said, yeah. And so what if, and so for us, all I can think is like, what if I would have known that? What if I would have talked to you at 18 years old? And what would have been different,
Girl, imagine. I would already have millions of dollars in my account. I mean, it's like, here's the thing. Yes, you have an opportunity, everyone, to change your life starting now. And it is exactly what you're saying. It's all about you, okay? Your thoughts, everything you believe is what you're like. Everything that you believe is happening to you already, okay? If you look at your life and you don't like how it looks, think about your beliefs and thoughts that got you to these results right here, right now, okay? Or if you are happy with where you're at, think of your thoughts and beliefs that took you to this moment and these results right here. Okay, your thought, you think yourself into results. Okay, so think about where you want to be and the outcome, and then start thinking that way. It's simple.
Yeah, I really love that. I think that's such amazing advice. So thank you so much for sharing that. And we really cannot wait to get into your book. I really am so excited about it. So one more question that I have for you is, what's next? What are you kind of thinking about right now? Where do you see yourself going? Or are you like, I can't think more than today because you know that you're there for the next 2 weeks?
Future. I'm thinking in the future. I am 100% on a mission and have been for like the past 2 years of helping people, wanting to share my journey and help people have better lives. Like really, that's my passion. And I have a Facebook group for women. I know, guys, but I made it for women because it resonates in my soul. Yeah. And it's 5 F words to manifesting your life. And it's kind of, I'm just sort of forming a manifesting community and starting, like, I'm seeing my future as this, Awesome. I still love doing hair. I still love my career and where it's at. But it's like, I needed to give back. I'm 50, but it's truly like, I'm at this place in my life at 50. I was like, I don't really care what you guys think. I really don't.
I love
because
that.
I'm really secure with who I am. And if you don't like me, it's okay. Okay. Or, I'll take you under my wing. Like, I'm that girl. I'm here because I have experience. I'm 50. I've got a life behind me. Okay. And I'm willing to share it and help, help you shine your light. Right. That's what we're here to do, is to pass the joy and the love and the light and all of that. So my journey is about that now. Okay. I'm still sharing the beauty and making people feel amazing on camera and doing all of that. Like, I love the transformation that we do on The Voice. And that's what, I'll continue doing that. But this is also now a part of my life.
Yeah, we both kind of said yesterday that it is the thing that we love about this industry. This industry is so loving and so supportive and so empowering. Like, there's just a lot of positive in this industry. There's a lot of things that we can do to give back and to help people. But I think when that's your pool, I mean, you can see that it's naturally happening. Like you said, especially with the book and this group. I mean, if you can give back and help other people, I think that's the point point of growing up and getting older is like, okay, now I need to do something with what I've learned. Because like I said, if I could go back and already have all this information at 18 years old, how valuable would that be? And we have, we're in positions where we have people that are watching. So what are we going to do with it? So it's really awesome. And it's exciting that you want to use this to do good, because that's, I think, what it's all about. Thank you, Jerilynn, so much for being with us today. You guys, don't forget to go buy her book. You can buy the 5 F Words to Manifesting Your Life on Amazon, or you can also find it at her website, which is JerilynStephens.com. Where can we follow you on social?
Oh, on Instagram, Hollywood Hairstylist, Facebook, Hollywood Hairstylist. You can join my Facebook group, the 5 F Words to Manifesting Your Life. But everything is on my website too, which is my name.
Awesome. We cannot wait to check it out. Thank you so much for watching today. Check us out again for more content at beautycastnetwork.com. Thank you guys. See you soon.